Bon quiz, and my pal Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic, it won't stop, and I am your reigning and defending Cultaholic heavyweight champion, and welcome to all these WTF moments from Monday Night Raw. And say it quietly, right? I don't know how this is going to go down, but Monday Night Raw might be on its way to becoming the best weekly wrestling television show. It was good again. Could you just imagine if Monday Night Raw was 2 hours like SmackDown, like AEW Call on Dynamite, and like NXT, and they could trim off all the fat from the 3-hour show, which is good to begin with. It would be beyond any doubt that Raw would be at the top. It's weird, this. Go on the Raw. But that's not why we're here, of course. Let's take all the enjoyment right out of a good thing, rip it to shreds, nitpick like nobody's nitpicked before, and go through all the WTF moments at the bloody thing. WTF! Now that sign says I came to see Drew McIntyre, yet it has a picture of Phil Collins. How weird. And there it is, the baddie bladdy's gone. Confirmation, if we needed it, he's just Murphy now. And I'm kicking off these WTF moments for this week's Raw with some very controversial statements. First of all, Raw being bloody good. A lot of people won't like that because it's Raw. Well, up yours. And second of all, I can understand why they got rid of the buddy. Now, it might have been last week, it might have been the week before, it might have been 7 years ago, but there was a backstage segment where Seth Rollins saw Buddy Murphy and went, "Hey, buddy!" Ugh. And naturally, of course, my mind thought the next line of dialogue should have been, "I'm not your buddy, guy." When Seth Rollins said it in the way Seth Rollins said it, it just didn't sound right. It just didn't sound like how a professional wrestler should be named. Am I making sense? I hope I am. Now, I get that it's yet another name taken away from an established WWE superstar, and that is annoying. But this one, I'm on board with, because in the context of Seth Rollins and the Monday Night Messiah and the Disciples and all of that, it works. And then just picture it. Seth Rollins saying, "Hello, Murphy," against Seth Rollins saying, "Hello, buddy." You get it, don't you? Please say you get it. Now, I'm not being funny, right, but is Seth Rollins wearing one of Becky Lynch's jackets? Now, this might come as a shock to some of you, but I know bugger all about fashion, but Seth Rollins there, in my opinion, looks like a twat. Which is a good thing, because he's a heel. Good work, Seth. So right at the start of last night's Raw, we learned there was going to be a massive 8-man tag match with Kevin Owens teaming up with the Viking Raiders and Samoa Joe to take on Rollins and his friends. But then we have Seth Rollins cutting a promo where he speaks about Samoa Joe getting taken out, everybody getting taken out, and he says right to Kevin Owens' face, "Kevin Owens, if you stand alone, if you walk alone inside this pit of danger, you'll fall alone." Seth, we already knew Kevin Owens has 3 friends in attendance. All 3 friends are going to be with Kevin Owens in a match against you, you massive cockwomble. And this makes it all the more perplexing when you realise that Seth Rollins himself, presumably to be booked in this match, had to sign a contract. That's how the wrestling works, doesn't it? He knew this was happening and he still said that. What a knobhead. So Becky Lynch's theme starts, smoke starts to fill the stage because of steampunk and rock iron, you bastards. The man in massive big grey letters is on the Tron, and despite all of these clues, Jerry Lawler still says, "What's this?" And I thought Lawler's reaction to Rhea Ripley's appearance on last week's Raw was taking the piss. This one, it was taking the entire willy and the bladder the piss sits in.
Yep, I wrong. Yep, I wrong.
Now, according to Byron Saxton, if Becky Lynch could defeat Asuka twice on the road or the body of water to WrestleMania, wow, wouldn't Becky's resume be something? Whoa, swell. Byron said. I mean, of course it would be impressive. It's Asuka, for Christ's sake. No matter how WWE's her today, we all know she's bloody amazing. But Byron, it's not as impressive as you think it is, sonny boy. In big singles matches on the television, Charlotte Flair has 3 wins against Asuka. Carmella has 2 wins against Asuka, and even, I don't know why I'm saying this, but it's worth mentioning, even Mandy has one win against Asuka on television. But of course, the memory of that win for Mandy has been repressed in our subconscious because of the utter nightmare that it is. And then we have Byron Saxton saying if WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Asuka does not defeat Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch for the title, where does WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Asuka go from here? Voodoo wrestling in the depths of the Congo, Byron? Where the pissing hell do you think she goes? She goes back to the tag team division, Byron, you silly goose. And hopefully herself and Kairi Sane are given the chance to make those women's tag team titles actually mean something. And then big bloody Shayna arrived, and initially when she was doing the forearms and the chokes and all of the Shayna stuff, I was thinking, that's good shit. But then she bit the back of Becky's neck for a few seconds and came up immediately looking like that. And I don't know how I'm conflicted. I mean, on one hand, it was completely unexpected, it was underhanded, it was dirty, it was gnarly, dude. She looks like an animal, a bloody savage. She looks like a vampire. But on the other hand, this is Shayna Baszler, for Christ's sake. This is a woman who does not need to go around biting people on the back of the neck and then having lots of blood really unrealistically splattered all over her face. Even if it does make for wonderful pictures like that, she doesn't need to do that. We know what she can do. She doesn't need to bite people. I don't know how to feel. And who knows, this might be the first time some people have seen Shayna Baszler in the flesh and she's biting people on the back of the neck. And you've got Edge back in the fold in WWE. You've got Christian on backstage. Some people might be sitting at home thinking that's Gangrel. But also, I was watching this moment thinking of a quote Vince McMahon said on one of those conference call posh man things, where he said that WWE would not do the blood and guts and things of that nature, such as is being done by one potential competitor. AEW he was speaking about there. And my reaction to that was, But when all's said and done, despite all the bollocks that you might think was bollocks or might not think was bollocks, we're getting, seemingly, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania, and that's a good thing. Dun 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 dun. You failed, Kevin Dunn, even if it might not have been your job. The karma that came as a result of you not giving a hoot about your colleague, your pal, your next door neighbour getting his arse handed to him by big baldy bastard Baron Corbin on last week's SmackDown came back around and bit you in the teeth. Kevin, despite your best efforts, we all heard loud and clear Becky Lynch saying, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ just took a fucking chunk out the back of me neck. We heard them all, Kevin. Your hand-eye coordination is not what it should be. Even if it might not have been your job, you're still getting the finger. I'm pointing the finger. And then we get to that boffin there, a supposed medical professional who sees a massive bleeding hole in somebody's neck, a weeping, bloody wound. And to remedy this, she gets what appears to be an antiseptic wipe, and she just goes, whoop, and wipes it away. It was almost as if that woman there forgot that she was supposed to be tending to a literal hole in somebody's neck. How else does the blood escape from the neck to get all over the side of the head and whatnot? She just thought, I'll get the red paint off her, I'll wipe it away, hey! And you take the really, really, really comically fake looking blood all over Shayna Baszler's face, and that medical boffin's stupidity? What else could you call it? And you just take the moment, this is the moment right here, and I've been taken out the moment. Whoa, whoa, whoa there, Tom Phillips. How dare you say Mojo Rawley and his friend Riddick Moss? He's not a friend, he's more than a friend. He's Mojo Rawley's offensive lineman or something. Because that's the eye. And then we have Jerry Lawler saying, I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like that on Raw. And Jerry the King Lawler, you know fine well that one woman taking a bite out of another woman's neck is the tip of the pissing iceberg in terms of the things you've seen on Monday Night Raw. We're going there again, the 24/7 title rule suspended during a match. Why is nobody attacking Mojo Rawley before the first bell is rang? Our entrances are part of a match. They're not. So where is everybody? I'm sat there now thinking nobody actually wants that 24/7 title. And then with him getting his arse handed to him in double quick time by the Street Profits, we have Riddick Moss turning on Mojo Rawley to win the 24/7 championship, which left Mojo looking like an even bigger dick than when his face cracked. But this entire segment with the match and how quickly it ended, and then that turn, what are they doing with Mojo and Riddick? The story we were told there is that Riddick used Mojo to get to the lofty heights of the 24/7 championship. Riddick's silly. So instead of just sitting there in the back of an ambulance receiving treatment for a massive gaping, weeping hole in her neck like a normal person would, Becky Lynch is like, bollocks to your healthcare. Healthcare? Where the hell's she from? She steals the ambulance and then presumably drives herself to a local medical facility and not a hospital. Isn't she hard? And a bit immature when you think about it, eh? And I don't know about you, but I was sat there watching this segment of Becky Lynch going, aye, I'll steal your ambulance, thinking, Becky, you look like a child, a petulant child with anger issues. You're not looking badass, you're looking silly. Now, I'm sure this is not the case, but while he's been travelling the world for the past 10 years, it would appear that MVP has forgotten the concept of a heel and a baby face. And I'm saying that because half of his performance on the VIP lounge last night, it was a babyface performance, and then half of it was not. He was going in one direction, he would stop, then he would go in the opposite direction. And I was sat there watching that entire segment looking like that. And that's before the moment he approached Big Daddy McIntyre and said, Drew, we're going to shut the doubters up together. We're going to win the main event of WrestleMania together. Well, I can see what he was doing, but what? But then we got to that stand down there, and quite frankly, you can forget about McIntyre versus Lesnar. You can forget about Reigns and/or Goldberg versus The Fiend. That there is the WrestleMania 36 poster, is it not? MVP versus Drew. Right to the face, says Tom Phillips, who must look like that with his shirt off. And I don't know about you, but I did not expect to see Zelina Vega sporting a lovely tribute to Rikishi when I flicked on Raw last night. Or this morning. This morning I did it. I mean, I guess she is with a bad, bad man. That's how he says it, right there. But the question is, of course, what did she do for The Rock? She was the stunt double in his film. Now, I might not be the best person to make this following thingy WTF moment, but Sarah Logan said an entire sentence and we understood every single word. And again, during last night's Raw, they were claiming that Bayley is the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion of all the times ever. And the semantics of that, man, historically, when you call somebody the longest reigning ever of something, that is over one reign. Bayley, as we all know, has the most combined days as champion in the history of SmackDown, which is something historically in WWE that's different. But it just begs the question, doesn't it? After Michael Cole seemingly deliberately got the number of days Bayley's held the thing wrong on a SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, why are WWE skipping over Charlotte Flair's reign that happened coming out of Hell in a Cell last year? Answer on a postcard, please. My Bobby is warming up. Not my words, but the words of a Randy Scotsman, ready for a little bit of the hibbity-dibbity. And once again, and I know fine well, you don't understand a single word I say, but once again, Sarah Logan said another full sentence, and we understood every single word. We've come a long way from the gay meat days, if you know, you know. Go on, Sarah Logan. So then we have Australian lady Rhea Ripley saying, where's my answer, Charlotte? And because she doesn't sound like she's from the good old US of A, Jerry Lawler's like, where's your what? And I'm not sure what to say about that. She merely said answer with an accent. Go away, Jerry. And then we have Jerry Lawler saying, notice the Queen's nails? Awesome. Why is he mentioning that? And after thinking about it for a second, I was like, hang on, they're yellow, them, aren't they? Smack my arse and call me Gertrude. You can take the upcoming huge scope all the way to Dave Meltzer, because it's true. Charlotte Flair will not be challenging Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She will be challenging either Hulk Hogan or CM Punk or Aldo Montoya or, this is the big one, Goldust. Why else would Jerry Lawler mention them? Don't buy the sun. Now, I'm making this a WTF moment because time to retire VKM is a weird sign to take to Monday Night Raw in February of 2020 when you consider that for the last 4 or 5 weeks it's been a good show. Things have clearly changed behind the scenes, so why bring that there now? So there we have the number one contender for the WWE Championship at the next pay-per-view, yet all we can hear on our television sets is chants of Rusev Day. Now, I know that Lana and her penis were in the ring at this time when we're hearing the Rusev Day chants, but could you imagine a scenario where WWE Creative have absolutely nothing for somebody as popular as my Bane Spirit Animal Rusev? Could you imagine? We don't have to because it's happening right now. That's why he's not on Raw. It's unbelievable. And there we saw it. I think the end of Matt Hardy's WWE career. And I say I think because you can never trust these bloody wrestlers, can you? Scoundrels. He's been written off the show, seemingly in a pretty ironic way with a concerto. He's tweeted goodbye to WWE. It looks like it's come to an end. And it's been a bloody waste, hasn't it? Not a waste of time, just a massive waste of potential. After the broken Matt run of 2016 and early 2017, we had such high hopes, didn't we? They're going to do wonderful things with even more of a budget with the broken universe. But no, they did diddly squat all and we came to this. Hopefully he can rekindle the spirit of 2016 when he leads the Dark Order in AEW. And next up we have Byron Saxton being very excited when he's like, Becky's back! Wow, nobody saw that coming, even though Tom Phillips just said a couple of seconds before, Becky's coming back to the arena. However, Byron, listen. So let me get this right. Becky Lynch stole an ambulance. She drove that ambulance to the local hospital. She parked that ambulance in the car park of the hospital, even though she shouldn't be driving that thing. We all know that. She went inside for treatment on that massive hole in her neck. She walked back out the front door, into the car park, got back into the ambulance, put the bloody sirens on, and drove all the way back to the arena, and nobody stopped her. Are you sure? Unless, of course, the WWE Universe is now merged with the Grand Theft Auto Universe. Becky Lynch drove the ambulance with a PS4 controller. She hit R3 and she did a few missions in an ambulance on her way back to the arena. It's too far-fetched, man. And then we fast forward through a brilliant main event and we give props to the camera people of WWE who proceeded to miss every single big move in that brilliant flourish, that lovely sequence at the end of the match. How they did it, I don't know, but they did, so WTF. And that's it for your WTF moments for this week's Raw. Once again, it was good. If you disagree, you're wrong. Fighters. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us.